So here we have it, the brand new Cafe Rose by Tom Ford. As you can tell, this is a part of the Signature collection. Of course, it used to be a part of the Private Blend line. Is it going to smell exactly the same? I know it's been revamped, reimagined, new presentation, same exact name. In any case, I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new purchase of mine in just a second, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Cafe Rose by Tom Ford 2023 release, I believe the original came out in like 2013, so it's about a decade old. I'm going to tell you all about this fragrance, the smell, the notes, the performance, comparisons, how close I think it is to the original, which I did have an official sample of from the Tom Ford counter at my mall. I want to start things off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So I never actually purchased the Private Blend counterpart. I have so many Private Blends in my collection, at least a couple dozen. And Cafe Rose is one that I had the tiny little cylindrical sample of, and I got it from the rep working at the Tom Ford counter at my local mall. And I remember really enjoying it. The patchouli, the coffee, it has a bit of a chocolatey vibe, kind of similar to what you would get from Noir de Noir, which is a Private Blend fragrance. And of course, this one has the rose, the coffee. 3 varieties of rose are found in the older version from what I remember reading up online. May rose, Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose. This has just 2 varieties of rose, if I'm remembering correctly. But there is ylang ylang, there's incense, there's coriander, there's cardamom. It's a really interesting note breakdown. I'm going to tell you all about the smell in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get the rose, the coffee, and the patchouli. If you're trying to create a hierarchy of what are going to be the 3 strongest ingredients in this fragrance, it's those 3. The coffee, the rose, the patchouli. How do I know? The patchouli in here has a very dense, earthy, chocolatey aroma. And it's very similar to what you would find in Noir de Noir. Noir de Noir is amazing, right? That one is also rose and patchouli. And so many times, and I've said this as well, it kind of reminds me of Valentine's Day. It's like Valentine's Day in a bottle. It's very sexy, sultry, romantic. You think of chocolate and flowers. Rose, of course. Rose symbolizes romance and affection and love. So here you have something along those same lines. This one, however, it's a little spicier. You have the cardamom in here, which gives it this exotic flair to it. And for me, whenever I think of coffee and cardamom, I think of Turkish coffee. And of course, you also have the patchouli. Earthy, it grounds the composition very nicely. It gives it longevity, it gives it tenacity. Of course, you also have the frankincense or the olibanum in the dry down. Also gives it a bit of an earthy texture, I would say. The coriander is smooth. The cardamom definitely is a little bit stronger. This one is more floral than Noir de Noir. So I'm using that as a reference point, right? So if you've tried Noir de Noir, you know that it has the rose, the patchouli. This one also has the ylang ylang. So this one is a bit more floral. I think some people online might suggest that it's feminine leaning. In my opinion, it's perfectly unisex, and I believe it's marketed as a unisex fragrance. It's not like Black Orchid, where a lot of people say it's explicitly feminine, even though, you know, I don't really believe in this classification, so on and so forth. Just wear what you want, wear what makes you happy at the end of the day. This one is not like Black Orchid or Orchid Soleil or Velvet Orchid or one of these other fragrances from the brand. This one is actually more on the unisex side of things, which I really enjoy. So my wife did not like this one. I had her smell it. We went to Menlo Park Mall in Edison, New Jersey. And I bought it from Macy's. Nordstrom didn't have it in stock. They had the tester. They didn't have a bottle. So I bought it from Macy's again. And I had her smell the card, and she's like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, it's the new Tom Ford. You're not crazy about it? She goes, no, I wouldn't wear that. I would wear it, but my wife wouldn't wear it. So this one is floral, chocolatey, sweet, gourmand to a degree. It's not a gourmand. It's an amber, I guess, as far as the official classification is concerned. Not a fruity floral. The florals are in here, the fruits are not. But all things considered, how close does this smell to the original Cafe Rose? From what I can remember, it's been a few years, it's very, very close. It's very close. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same exact thing and it's just been maybe slightly reformulated to cut costs and rebottled, repackaged, reimagined, new presentation. The color is really, really nice. I always did enjoy the original Cafe Rose, and I don't know why I never bought a private blend of it. Although I bought so many others that have been discontinued, like Azure Lime, which has now been re-released and reissued, and I haven't tried the new one yet. But this one is really nice. Is it my favorite from the signature line? It's not. I do love my Noirs. I love Noir Extreme, and I love some of the Parfum version, if I'm remembering correctly. Even Anthracite. I know Anthracite was a little hard to get along with, but I really enjoyed that one, and that one has been discontinued as well. I'm not too crazy about Grey Vetiver. I respect it and what it does. I'm just not a vetiver guy, so this one I like a little bit more, believe it or not, because I do like these heavier fall and winter fragrances, and I would say it's very close to the private blend. So if you feel like, hey, I missed my opportunity to try the private blend while it was still in production, you want to get your nose on it and you want to not settle, but you want to experience something very close to what the private blend used to be, here you have it in the signature collection. Very, very similar from my olfactory memory and what I can dig up in the recesses of my memory. So I hope you have a chance to try this. Again, I purchased this from Macy's, so I know they have it. Nordstrom probably has it. Try in your local area and see if they have it in stock. But in any case, I think it's a solid release. Not my favorite from the signature collection, of course, but I really do enjoy it, and I am going to be wearing it quite a bit in the fall and winter, especially when it's more seasonally appropriate. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I mean, it is unique. Kind of similar to Noir de Noir, a little spicier, a little bit more floral. The patchouli is not as chocolatey, but the overall smell is very nice actually. Longevity on this one, you're going to get about 8 hours on your skin. Projection was really good for the first hour of application. It radiated within an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, a skin scent right around hour 8. In terms of the versatility, perfectly unisex, great for the colder weather, fall and winter, great for the evening, probably will cater to the taste of somebody a little bit older, more experienced in fragrances that are not just aquatics and citrus complement and Brox and bergamot combinations type of a fragrance. So it will probably appeal to somebody who's a little bit more experienced in that regard. And I think this one is more of a formal occasion scent rather than a casual fragrance. And as far as the presentation is concerned, the name is cool, the bottle is cool, I like the color as well. Definitely gives it that warm, rosy, sexy type of a fragrance vibe. My final verdict on this fragrance is I think it's a solid release. I think it's great. Some might argue that it's a bit feminine leaning. It's not my favorite from the signature collection, but it's really, really nice. I do think it's nice, and you know, give it a try when you have the opportunity to do so. If you ask me which one would I pick between this one and Noir de Noir, I would go with Noir de Noir. So if you have a few extra bucks, I paid like 160 something for this plus tax, and this is the 50 ml. They also do have the 30 ml, so if you want to buy the smaller size, you can do that. My local Macy's did not have the 30 ml, but they have 30, 50, and 100 as of the time that I'm recording this video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. That was my review of the brand new, or reimagined, re-released Cafe Rose by Tom Ford. If you own or have tried this or the original private blend from like a decade ago, let me know. Drop your comments down below. Always love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something today, if you feel like you learned something today, why don't you go ahead and support the channel by subscribing to it. It's absolutely free. Just hit that red button, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.